Hey, Sleeper on Your Marks Wrestling, and I'm here with a Greatest Royal Rumble review for April 27th, 2018. The show starts with a video package for the event and some pyro. The video package is great. It's typical WWE big event video package is perfect. We get our first match of the night. It's Triple H versus John Cena. Cena is calling his spots extremely loudly. Like, he always calls his spots loudly, but this was louder than usual. Maybe it's because there's not as many fans close to the ring because of the way it's set up. At one point, Triple H does a suck it motion, which I didn't think would play in Saudi Arabia, but he did it anyway. There's a weird top rope move by Cena where, not sure what he was going for, but Triple H just kind of grabs his legs and falls to his knees, and it ends up looking a little bit like a weird power bomb. It was clearly a botch, but announcers kind of covered it, said Triple H reached for anything he could get and essentially converted it into a power bomb or a spine buster. That was fine. At one point, Cena has an STF on Triple H, but he fights out of it. Cena hits an AA for a near fall. Triple H bounces out of another attempted AA for a pedigree, and he gets a near fall. Cena puts an STF on Triple H. Triple H fights out of it and puts a crossface on Cena. Cena stands out of the crossface and delivers an AA to Triple H. We have a slingshot into the corner, and then another AA by John Cena, and he gets the pin on Triple H. Opening match was wasn't great, but it was okay. Cena, in kind of a serious tone, thanks the crowd and thanks the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for their hospitality. Sounds nice when he's trying to sound sincere. It's all right. Next match is Cedric Alexander versus Kalisto. There's a cool dive to the outside by Kalisto where he kind of jumps over the top rope and bounces off the second rope. Alexander hits it's just a drop kick, but it looked more brutal than any drop kick you'll ever see. There's a cool spinning tornado DDT thing by Kalisto. It was very busy, but it was cool. Alexander hits a Falcon Arrow for a near fall. There's a sitting out springboard Spanish fly from the top rope by Kalisto. I love all Spanish flies. They always look cool. Alexander tries a lumbar check, but he gets Hurricane Ranad. Then Kalisto tries a Salito del Sol, but it gets turned into a lumbar check, and Cedric Alexander gets the win. I thought this was a solid match. I thought it flowed nicely. I thought it was the right result. Everything was good in this match, in my opinion. The next match was Wyatt and Hardy versus The Bar. Not the best of matches, in my opinion, but Hardy kind of dominates a little bit early. Cesaro attacks Hardy from the outside to take over a little bit. Cesaro hits an elbow to a draped Hardy who's over Sheamus' knee. Sheamus forgets that he's the legal man, kind of runs away and has to jump back on. It was kind of funny. Not too bad. Announcers kind of addressed it in the proper way. Bray Wyatt eventually does manage to get into the match. Shows nice fire. There's an assisted white noise onto Bray Wyatt at one point, and Matt Hardy barely breaks it up. Like, it was pretty close to 3. Then Sheamus is in the ring with Wyatt. Wyatt does his whole scare thing. Sheamus tries to brogue kick him, but Wyatt sidesteps it, and he hits Sister Abigail. And then Hardy and Wyatt hit their new combo finisher, which is basically just kind of a wheelbarrow type twist of fate. And so Wyatt and Hardy are the new champs. It was kind of a predetermined finish, so it's kind of a hard match to really care about. The in-ring action was, again, a little underwhelming. Jeff Hardy versus Jinder Mahal. There's one spot in this match that everybody's going to know. So I wrote that the match is forgettable until a missed whisper in the wind that Mahal sells after the fact. So basically, Jeff Hardy goes for a whisper in the wind, does not catch Mahal at all, lands on the mat, and after he lands on the mat, Mahal kind of just throws himself on the ground as if he got hit. It was weird. It just didn't work. Why didn't he just stand up and figure out a different way to eat a finisher? At one point, Sunil Singh distracts Hardy, which allows Mahal to almost land the Kalash. which ends up in a reverse roll-up. So basically, Hardy tries to roll him up, but Mahal just kind of sits on it and tries to pin him that way. Hardy does manage to kick out, eventually lands the Twist of Fate and a Swanton song for bomb, Swanton Bomb for the win. I believe at one point in that match, Michael Cole said the late great Sergeant Slaughter, and that kind of made me giggle a little bit. There's a video about the progress in Saudi Arabia, like allowing women to drive and things like that. It's nice to see, but then you take a step back and you go like, they're way behind, it seems, in terms of that stuff. Different cultures, different ideas, whatever. It's cool. Then there's Chris Jericho backstage being interviewed by, I believe his name is Mike something. And Jericho runs down the stars in the Greatest Royal Rumble, and he mentions Mojo Rawley too, which becomes kind of a joke. He calls Mike Rowe Tom, keeps talking about Tom. Mike corrects him and says, "My name's Mike," and Chris Jericho accuses him of lying, calls him Tom again, and he says that he's going on the list for trying to deceive Jericho. And then he puts the cameraman and the sound guy on the list as well. And then he mentions Mojo Rawley again. It was kind of funny. It worked. Mike is backstage and he interviews Daniel Bryan, who says that it's a privilege to be wrestling, and screams yes really loudly. And it was like kind of awkward. It feels like he usually keeps going yes, but he only did it once, and then you just saw the interviewer take a step back. Next match is the Usos versus Bludgeon Brothers. Rowan dominates Jey Uso early. Harper misses a big kick and spills out to the outside, and that's when the Usos kind of get a little bit of an advantage. They double super kick Rowan to the outside, and they land a splash on Harper for a near fall. Rowan distracts one of the Usos, which allows Harper to hit a big boot. And then the Bludgeon Brothers land I think it's their new finisher. So they used to have another finisher, but now it's like an assisted powerbomb they've been doing for a little while. And they get the win. There's video package to intro the ladder match. Every match was introed with a little video package at this point. Seth Rollins versus Samoa Joe versus The Miz versus Finn Balor. There's a bunch of topes landed early on. Joe lands a Tower of Doom on Rollins and Balor. Miz does a skull-crushing finale on Joe onto a ladder. There's a coup de grace onto a ladder-draped Miz. I'm just running down the big spots here. Balor at one point is climbing the ladder slowly. He's close to getting the belt, but Rollins springboards from the outside of the ring onto the ladder and climbs a little bit faster and grabs the belt ahead of him, so Rollins retains his championship, and Balor's left there just kind of empty-handed. It was a fine match. There was nothing wrong with this match, but the NXT ladder match from last month has kind of ruined all other ladder matches for me. It was just that much better. But this was good, and compared to some of the other matches of the night, pretty good. There's a video package of a training camp they're having in Saudi Arabia. So they did this in India as well before. And so basically they recruited a bunch of guys and they let them go through workouts and stuff like that. And they come back and there's 4 guys in the ring with Mike Rowe. I'm going to say Rowe. It's Rowe or Rome. And he basically lets them each cut a tiny little promo. And then the Daivaris, I always have trouble with that name, come out, and they talk about how great Iran is, and Arya gets in the face of the one Saudi prospect who is from Jeddah. The Jeddah trainee ends up pushing Daivari down, and then all the other guys get one shot in, and the crowd kind of eats it up, and that's fine. I thought it was perfect. It's so predictable, but you have to do it. There's a And I should mention it wasn't just Arya that came in; it was his brother as well, which was kind of cool. He hasn't been there in a while. Video package introducing Styles versus Nakamura. Was hoping this was going to be a great match. Wasn't exactly. So Nakamura controls early. Styles hits a Anushi Goroshi and gets a little bit of an advantage, but not for very long. Nakamura regains the advantage with some knees. He tries a Kinshasa, but the... what did I write here? I wrote Styles counters and eventually gets a calf crusher, so I don't really remember. This night was very long. I should start writing a little more clearly. I've gotten a new pad with actual lines on it instead of this sketchbook. AJ attempts a phenomenal forearm, but almost crashes into the ref. While he's kind of covering the ref up, Nakamura manages to low blow him, gets a near fall, but AJ's able to grab the rope. Styles basically kind of freaks out, and he manages to counter another Kinshasa attempt with a phenomenal forearm, and then he shoves Nakamura over an announce table, and then he just keeps attacking him on the outside, and there's a double countout. He eventually hits Nakamura with a chair. Nakamura kind of tries to run away, and Styles hits a slingshot forearm on him. Really disappointing finish. I hate double countouts. WWE's been doing them forever. Just find another way. It's just so awful. I hate them. I hate them so much, especially in a match that is probably the one I care about the most. There's an Undertaker video package. It was a little underwhelming. I actually expect more from them. Rusev versus Undertaker. English comes in with an opening song. It wasn't his best. I like it better when he kind of does that rap thing or poem thing, whatever you want to call it. Rusev is reluctant to go into the ring. Undertaker chases him and throws him into the ring. He hits Old School at one point, which is cool. He shoves Rusev on top of the casket, which makes Rusev freak out. And then eventually Undertaker lands a leg drop on the outside, or on the apron, and he shoves Rusev into the casket. English interferes enough so that Undertaker doesn't close the casket, doesn't win the match. Rusev manages to find his way back into the ring. Rusev hits a spinning heel kick, which always looks cool because he's a big guy and he moves well. He puts on the Accolade for a while, and then he kind of tells the refs to open the casket, but the Undertaker sits up and surprises Rusev, and he's able to chokeslam him, puts Rusev into the casket. English comes in to interfere. Undertaker chokeslams him and tombstones him and puts him on top of Rusev and closes the casket. Undertaker gets the win. Everybody knew how this was going to go. It went. Rusev deserves better. I'm just going to keep saying it. There's a video package for Reigns versus Lesnar. I still don't care about this match. Reigns' intro gets so much pyro, but I felt like that might have been overkill, but we'll see. At one point, there are 4 German suplexes and an F5, and of course, Reigns manages to kick out. Then there's 3 super punches, Superman punches, and again, nothing really comes from it. Roman tries to escape the ring. Then Lesnar tries to escape the ring, gets a powerbomb for his troubles. There are 3 spears onto Lesnar, and he kicks out of it because this rivalry has killed finishing moves forever. Reigns tries to leave through the door. Heyman slams the door onto him, and he gets hit by an F5, but he still kicks out. Heyman tosses in a chair. Lesnar grabs the chair, but he gets speared by Reigns. Reigns uses the chair. Eventually, Reigns spears Lesnar through the cage onto the floor, and it's determined that Lesnar landed first, so he gets to retain his championship. On the replay, they show it, and you can see that zip ties were holding the cage together, and you kind of wish that they would have at least spray painted them silver so it wouldn't look so bad. Whatever, it was a creative way to keep it on Lesnar and not make Reigns win. Anytime Reigns doesn't win, the audience gets a little bit out of it. I know I do. I'm at that point. And I actually like Reigns in the ring. That's a sad thing, but this match up is killing me. I just can't do it anymore. So then we get the Greatest Royal Rumble. I did not write every single entrant, but I wrote the big ones who came in, or the people that you wouldn't have expected to even be in this match. So like there was some NXT guys who are fairly well established. I did not write them down when they came in. If there was an NXT guy I've almost never seen, I made a point of making a note. If there was a surprise entrant or a notable entrant, so someone who's recently held a belt or something like that, I wrote it down. So the match starts. We have Daniel Bryan at number 1. Dolph Ziggler comes out at number 2. At one point, I made a note that Mike Kanellis is still alive, but he gets eliminated in about a second. They said they were going to check to see if it was a record. I don't think it is, but it's close. There is a sumo wrestler that shows up at number 7, Hiroki Sumi. He has a face-off with Mark Henry, but he gets eliminated right away. It was kind of interesting. I did not expect to see him. Hornswoggle is introduced at one point. He actually lands a move on Kofi Kingston, which was pretty impressive. He is eliminated while trying to go to the top rope, but when I look at it, I'm like, he didn't go over the top rope from the inside. He went outside, started climbing, never quite made it to the top, went back down and got knocked off the ring. To me, he didn't get eliminated. But they said he was eliminated. There were a couple kind of strange situations like that. Tony Nese and the New Day at one point celebrate, and the New Day just kind of pick up Tony Nese and throw him out. It was like a little comedy spot. That's fine. Kurt Angle is number 16. He eliminates a couple jobbers and then eliminates Ziggler, who'd been in there for a while. Elias is number 20, and he does his old shtick. He interrupts his own song in order to eliminate the New Day, who were trying to eliminate Connor, so he eliminates 3 people in the first second. So you feel like he's getting a little bit of a push. I also made notes whenever it felt like someone was getting a bit of a push. So he did that. He also eliminates Angle right after Angle lands an Olympic slam on Daniel Bryan, which was very interesting. I was like, if you're going to get a push, that's what it would look like. Bobby Roode is number 25. It's notable because he ends up eliminating 2 people right away, so I guess they still believe in him a little bit. Rey Mysterio is number 28. That's just cool. Number 35 is Randy Orton. I made a note of it because he seemed to get the best reaction out of all the people in this match, like even more than a lot of people that in America would get bigger reactions. Randy Orton is very popular there. He lands an RKO on Apollo Crews, and he eliminates him along with 2 other guys just before him. Lesser names, but still. Then there's a guy called Babatunde who comes in from NXT, apparently. I have never seen him, and I've watched a lot of NXT. The guy is a giant, though, and that's cool. And later on, you kind of figure out why he was in there. But yeah, Babatunde comes in. Baron Corbin comes in at 38 and really runs wild, so it seems like they're building him up a little bit. He actually eliminates Rude, who had eliminated a bunch of people, and another person very quickly. Number 39 is Titus O'Neil, and you wouldn't normally write this down because Titus O'Neil is not really a huge star anymore. Not that he ever really was. But Titus trips and basically slides into second, goes right under the ring. And it's one of the funniest things you'll ever see. I'm sure you've all seen it by now. There's so many GIFs out there. I'm still not calling them GIFs, whatever. And the announcers just lose their mind over it. You can't blame them. It's great. Dan Matha is in at number 40. And for those of you who don't know who Dan Matha is, they had built him up a ton on NXT. They had made vignettes of him talking about how amazing an athlete he was and how huge he was. And the whole reason they did that was so that Samoa Joe could kill him the next week and just choke him out. And it would just build up Samoa Joe. And it was one of the best things I ever saw in NXT. I loved it. But it was nice to see Dan Matha is still alive. And he's a very big man. He's probably 6'7", 275 to 300 pounds, something in that range. Like, he's a huge man. Number 41 is Braun Strowman. He and Babatunde face off, and Babatunde is actually quite a bit bigger than Strowman. Strowman eliminates him very easily, though, right away. Then he eliminates Matha, Excuse me. And then Big E kind of tries to hit him with his big ending, but Strowman eliminates Big E, and then he eliminates Heath Slater. So the whole reason that these two big guys who barely ever get on NXT were in there was so that they could be eliminated by another big guy in Strowman. And I'm cool with that. That's absolutely fine. It looked cool. Then we get a... did I not write when Rey Mysterio came in? Anyways, Mysterio was in there at some point. And all the competitors that were left in the ring after Strowman did his eliminations started trying to get him out, but he did that whole power out thing. He gets 619'd by Mysterio and then RKO'd. It kind of takes him out of the show for a little while. Mysterio's eliminated by Corbin, who's then eliminated by Orton, who's then eliminated by Elias. So Elias gets another huge elimination. It's kind of interesting. Number 44 is Lashley. He eliminates Elias, and then he eliminates... he faces off with Strowman. Bryan is still in the match. He hits his corner dropkicks on guys. Number 45 is the Great Khali. Khali chops all the competitors, but then he's eliminated by Lashley and Strowman. Number 46 is Kevin Owens. Owens pop-up powerbombs Bryan. And then he's... they announced that Bryan has broken the record for the longest time in a Royal Rumble. He's at 1 hour and 5 minutes at this point. Shane McMahon is number 46, and he attacks Owens as well because he's had a feud with him. McMahon and Bryan teased kind of fighting each other, but instead they go for yes kicks on Kevin Owens. Owens tells the other competitors that they need to get Strowman out, and they kind of all agree, but they fail at it. Number 49 is Big Cass. He attacks Bryan because they're feuding right now. Shane goes coast to coast on Strowman, which is still impressive. That guy's like 45 years old. Number 50 is Jericho, who attacks KO as well because he's had a feud with him in the past, at least the last time he was around. Daniel Bryan attacks Kevin Owens in the corner and tells Shane to go up for another coast to coast. Shane starts going. Strowman grabs him by the throat and throws him into the announce table, which looked brutal, as do most moves involving Shane McMahon. It looked cool. I liked it. Then he eliminates Lashley, just kind of picks him up, throws him out. He eliminates Jericho, and he eliminates Kevin Owens. So Strowman is eliminating a lot of people. Then Cass, who's been in the ring for not that long, Bryan is trying to get Strowman out. He's a little distracted. Cass lands a big boot on Bryan and throws him out. So then it's Strowman versus Cass at the end of this match. They're the last two in there. Strowman manages to crotch Cass on top of the third rope. He kind of bounces him a couple times, runs into the ropes, and just kind of shoulder blocks him out. And Strowman gets the win. And then in the ring, he's presented by Saudi authority, I forget who it was, and Vince McMahon with a trophy that no one on earth could ever lift because WWE makes trophies that can't be moved, and a nice little green title belt that he's going to, I guess, hold on to until the next time they go to Saudi Arabia. I can't see other reasons why he would do it. Overall, this show kind of lacked in terms of unpredictability. Every single match was very predictable. The only matches that had any doubt were the Nakamura and AJ Styles one, which they gave you a terrible finish for, and the Lesnar-Roman Reigns one, which a lot of people thought Reigns was going to win, but it seemed like WWE was going to say, hey, so many people think he's going to win, we're going to have to swerve him in some way, and they found a way. But in terms of predictability, like Strowman was a very possible winner of this Royal Rumble. I thought it lacked in that respect. I thought some of the matches fell flat. I thought the Cruiserweight match was very good. I actually liked the Royal Rumble itself. I actually thought was probably the best match of the night, with the Cruiserweights being second, the ladder match probably being third. Overall, I wasn't particularly impressed with this. I was wishing it was shorter. It went very long. I'm going to go ahead and give it a 6.5 out of 10. I thought the Rumble itself being so good kind of gives it a positive grade. Before that, I might have given it a 5.5. I was not feeling this at all. All right, thanks for watching. It is late. I'm tired, but I will see you guys soon. I don't remember what the next match is going to be. If you like this special a lot more than I did, I'd love to hear it in the comments. I know we don't have a lot of viewers, but I'd love to see it. And if you liked the video, you can like it. If you didn't like it, dislike it. Just do something. Do something. All right, thanks for watching.